Hi, Gemini. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. This is your medicine wheel reading for the Budding Trees Moon. Budding Trees Moon comes in March and phases out sometime around in April, but we're definitely in that season. If you're anywhere where you see the seasons changing, they're already going. So we're already there. This is the spring season. Great time for our spring zodiac signs, Gemini being one of them, coming in May. So this is for you, Gemini souls. All right, let's see what you have here. All right, so we've got thinker, not surprised. We have here and now, unfinished symphony, fork in the road, and flexible. Same spot as Taurus on that flexibility front. All right, so at the dead center, we have a thinker. I'm not surprised about that because Geminis are the zodiac's thinkers. They're thinking all the time. I think that they think just about as much as Virgos too, but they've got their own brand of doing that. Thinking for you is a comfortable place. It's a comfortable position, but you don't want to get there and get stuck and get bored, okay? And that's the other thing that happens with Geminis. They can sit there and think and think and think until they literally have nothing else to think about. So we don't want you to do that, but at the same time, that's where you are right now, and that's not an unfavorable place for you in general. So we've got the here and now, which means to stay present. Stay in the present moment. So if you're doing a lot of thinking, don't let it be about the past. And don't let it be about the future. Let it be about what's happening right now in your present moment. The present is a gift, right? That's what Alicia Keys said. So it is a gift, all right? And then we have the unfinished symphony. So there's some unfinished things. You're not finished yet. None of us are finished yet, Gemini. But yeah, you're like, this is like, I don't know. You're a composition. Geminis are a composition. They're not like a ditty. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking about a Gemini in terms of a piece of music, this isn't a jingle. You're not a jingle. You're a symphony. A symphony. It takes time. Symphony has, when you're talking about a symphony and you're talking about an orchestration from a symphony, there's so many instruments. There's so many different sounds that have to blend in order to make that music as beautiful as it is. And it is beautiful music. So you're going to make beautiful music. But just remember that it's more than just one thing that makes that happen. It's more than just you that makes that happen. Okay? All right, so we've got you at a fork in the road. This is one of my favorite cards from this deck because it tickles me, honestly. There's like a llama with a saddle with an owl on its back, and it's got antlers attached to its head, and it's got all of these, like signs going in all different directions, and then this monkey that it's at the top is like, yeah, and do this too, So when you're at the fork in the road, it's like a lot of advice. It's a lot of things going on. A lot of things can be coming at you at once, and you're like, which one do I choose? Which way do I go? What is it? And being in the here and now is going to help you with that. It's definitely going to help you with that. And then the last card is reminding you to be flexible. Maintain your flexibility. All right, so I'm going to get some clarifying cards for you, Gemini. Take your time with yourself. Like, take your time. Don't feel like you have to be in a rush to get anywhere. Okay? Don't think you have to be in a rush to get anywhere. You've got to, get that symphony. You've got some other instruments that have to come into play into your situation. Okay? Lots of other things. All right, so here in this thinking position, we've got heartbreak. So I don't know if some of you all have just been through a difficult time, something that happened, a disappointment, or it could be a relationship that broke up, or it just could be some major disappointment. And that's what's got you kind of sitting and pondering and like ruminating over and over again. You don't want to stay in that position because that's like you can get stuck. You don't want to get stuck. So in the here and now is where you're going to find your strength. Again, remember I said that? Here and now is where you want to be, and that's where you're going to find your most strength. I know it doesn't seem like that, because sometimes when we're in a situation where it's not as happy as we want it to be, or it doesn't feel like where we want it to be, or something like that, it feels like, well, why do I want to stay in the present moment? I mean, I would rather dwell on happier times from the past, or imagine a happier time in the future. But the strength that you're going to gain comes from staying in the present and being in the present moment with what's happening. Again, and with the Four of Cups reverse, I see a lack of joy. You're not finding your joy. And I think it's because you're not really seeing yourself fully. You're not seeing this symphony that you are. Probably because it's unfinished. You probably want it to be finished. If it's finished, then you feel like, oh yeah, I can see it. But it's not quite there yet, and so you're not happy about that. I get that. I understand that. At the fork in the road here, we have the Nine of Wands, which always reminds me of somebody waiting their turn. Like, it's like being patient and waiting for your opportunity to present itself, but being ready. It's not just sitting on the sideline with your arms folded like, why didn't anybody love me? It's not about that. It's about being poised and ready. It's about being prepared and properly prepared. And in this case, strength is needed, right? Strength is needed. And then in the flexible position, of course, we have the Sun. So flexibility, being able to not attach to anything is probably where you're going to find yourself being more joyful. I'm thinking don't so much focus on the part that's not finished, Gemini. I think it's more or less focusing on what's happening right now. Like, what do you have going on right now? What's good now? And what's good now is going to help you to be more agile. It's going to help you to see outside of your blockages. And again, this is about thinking. So I think that the message is about being flexible here. Okay? It's not about, go do your yoga. Do your yoga. It will help. But it's not about that kind of flexible. It's about being flexible up here and not getting locked into a certain mindset. And certainly when you're locked into a certain mindset and you're at a crossroads, it can keep you at that spot. So don't do that. Okay? Let me see if it's anything else that's coming to me. Yeah, I definitely see that there's new things on the horizon for you. We've got a couple of eggs here. We got lots of eggs. Eggs. We got eggs here. Got a lot of eggs in your basket, maybe. Okay? But that means new things, new ideas, new concepts. Stuff is budding. It's just not quite where it needs to be yet, but that's okay. The main thing is not get stuck in your own thinking, not get clouded by your own thinking, and don't allow your own thinking to bind you to something that then won't allow you to stretch into whatever the new thing is that you need to do. I think that is that. All right, so Gemini, if you need a little help getting unstuck or getting off the crossroads, if you would like to go a little deeper and get a personal reading, you can reach out to me at info@wooingnature.life. You can also reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all at Wooing Nature, and I will be glad to hook you up. If you need also full moon readings, new moon readings, we offer those as well as some other healing practices, meditation, Reiki, and stone medicine. So if you need the extra push and the extra healing, just let me know. As always, I hope you have a great budding trees moon, and I hope you have a wonderful life.